So today I was thinking about Marco Rubio and really his position uh, as far as Republican presidential primary is concerned. What I really think is interesting about him is that out of all of these candidates, be they ethnically, uh, statewide, he has no angle that is uniquely his. So he's one of the two Cuban Americans running for president on the Republican side. The other one is Ted Cruz. That already is something that he can't use to distinguish himself. I mean, you even had Bobby Jindal, who, I mean, was a joke from the beginning. Be able to claim that he was the first, uh, Indian American from that side or from the Republican side to go and run for president. And he was correct if he made that claim, or that was the thing that set him apart a little bit, just visually. Um, but substantively, we're going to get into more similarities. So you also have, when I refer to statewide, Jeb Bush also comes from Florida. The two of them are both from Florida. So that's another thing he can't claim is, oh, I'm the guy from Florida. You have, or you had Cruz in the same predicament where both him and Rick Perry were from Texas, but people saw through the glasses, and now Rick Perry isn't running, so that's gone, just like Perry. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. Anyways, and then when you get to the actual substance, the issues, the topics, uh, he is anti-abortion like everybody else. He has, I guess, hawkish foreign policy stances, just like Cruz. He really only is unique in being the only Republican on that side that is sort of softer on immigration, or kind of is in line with Reagan and the amnesty, the Gang of Eight, as they call it, with the four Democratic senators and four Republican senators, which included him, Rubio, and that's really the only policy that he can kind of claim for himself and say, "Oh, this is my thing. This isn't like anybody else. I'm unique. I'm not like them. I'm my own guy. I'm my own person." And he's so just, every time I watch him on TV, every time I see him during the debates, the different appearances he has on different stations, interviews, I just kind of feel bad for him because everything about him really had its chance to shine during the previous presidential election, 2012 election. He was in the Senate for about, I think, a year and a couple of months when that election occurred. Really a fair amount of time, given that you're aiming for the vice presidency, which, yeah, it's first in line to succession in case anything would happen to Romney, but that wasn't even a big deal, because Secret Service is so good, and I mean, really, anyone trying to become vice president in the hopes that they'll get the presidency through something happening to the incumbent is wasting their time. Too many things are in place for us to have a repeat of Kennedy and Johnson. So that was kind of pointless, or that is kind of pointless. And what's even more interesting to me is that at that time, I'm pretty sure he declined. Yeah, he did. He declined being selected as vice president, even if he were picked. He didn't want that position. So it's as if he's been plotting this presidential campaign ever since. And the thing that sucks is that if he doesn't get it this time, really there's no saving grace for him. He's not running for re-election, and defeating an incumbent, be they, if they're a Democrat, then it's a red. Florida's kind of a red state, sort of, maybe. So it'll definitely be possible. But if it's a Republican, then they're going to stay on that seat forever, like all the other senators. No one can just have 2 terms. No, we have to stay on there until the end of time. Uh, I just really am kind of blown away by his unique position of just having nothing unique about him except for immigration. I mean, the only person that's kind of sensible on that a little bit. The only one I can actually say, oh yeah, I agree with that. They should have amnesty. They should not be deported if they haven't committed any crimes or done anything to actually warrant being taken out of the country. And lastly, Rubio, just he cannot. There's a reason why in all of the polls he's behind Trump and Carson and tied with Cruz. Cruz, whether you like him or dislike him, has made a name for himself based off the controversies that have occurred just during his Senate career and kind of throughout his time being there. Now with uh, Rubio, it's the complete opposite. The guy just he doesn't stir up anything. He doesn't make controversy. He's not in the news. You know, he up until last year was completely unknown to me, or the year before last, and that was because he doesn't do anything. I mean, Cruz has been in the Senate for 2 years, and the guy just since being uh, in office has done everything to have his name publicized or be featured. And I can't say the same thing for Rubio. And yeah, that might sound good. Oh, he was more concerned about working and all that. And you actually had Cruz try to outline his differences with Obama by saying that he didn't stir up anything or really make any noise or just do anything that would be significant in standing out. But that was a good thing because he won. So it's kind of a faulty comparison. Um, Even then, the one saving grace of being controversial is that when you're among 100 people and we're recognizing you above most of those other senators, that's good. Especially if you want to run for president. That's kind of the reason why Kasich, who is much more sensible than most other candidates, is losing because people don't know his name. They don't know who he is. So I think Rubio would have to work on ads and marketing and revealing himself, and then he'd have a chance. But until then, he's going to be lagging behind Trump, Carson, and Cruz until the end of the election, or up until the election. So, so see you later.